You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
What you listen to in the gym? When you be in the gym, you wear headphones, or you just rock with whatever they're playing in the gym?
So this isn't scripted. Like, me and Charlie don't talk about what we're going to talk about at the start of the episode. Although, don't think I didn't notice you stealing the intro. Like, that's normally what I do. But okay, sometimes don't give me that face. Normally, it's I start the episode, but okay, cool. But yeah, so again, if you're not watching on YouTube, I have to ask why, to be honest. But Charlie, can you see that logo?
Oh yeah, already Enter Miami.
No, but I never thought of that. So this says Define with Da Vinci. It's my personal trainer. It's his little personal trainer. He's like a personal trainer / coach. Kind of looks at lifestyle as well as fitness and stuff like that. My boy Devin, I've known him since I was 4. Like, went to the same school together. Like, one of my day ones, like a genuine day one. But yeah, he's basically training me. So when it's us two, it really depends on our mood. Sometimes we'll work out to wrestling theme tunes, because that's what I normally listen to when I'm by myself. And we're talking like old school theme tunes, so like Stone Cold, The Rock, Jericho. Like, just we find a wrestling playlist and just listen to basically what we listened to growing up as wrestling fans. But yeah, if it's not that, it's normally a bit of it's wrestling theme tunes. I don't work out to rap. When I'm with Devin, he might play some, like, I wouldn't say like disco, but like not the cheesy disco, but kind of like the Motown disco and stuff like that. Or like the I don't know if you call it this in the States, but like the unts music. Like the doom, 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 all that kind of stuff. It's like
EDM.
Yeah, but dude, like, Devin, turn it off. Like, I'm not.
What did you call it?
Unts. That's what it sounds like. Unts. Yeah.
He said unts.
But yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're not looking to get back into shape and stuff like that. Not just physically, but mentally as well. Shout out to my boy Devin. Some of his transformations are ridiculous. I don't have them on me right now. But yeah, Define with Da Vinci, that's the logo I'm wearing this week, who I'm representing. So,
I thought it was an Inter Miami logo.
Nah.
I thought you was watching soccer over here. I'm like, dang, Kadeem, really a Miami fan.
I think that's the only it's Inter Miami and the Heat are the only 2 jerseys I don't have to the Miami team. I'll probably get a Miami Heat Tyler Hero jersey 6th man of the year. Kind of go from there. But why? What do you listen to apart from yourself rapping, I guess?
So when I work out, I might just listen to an instrumental, like try to create a song in my head while I'm listening to music and working out. Or if it's not that, bro, like I either listen to it's this genre. I don't even know what it is, bro. It's like Skylar Grey genre, but not when I'm working out. I listen to that while I'm driving and cooling. You know what I'm saying? When I'm just vibing. And that's what I listen to on the regular, and then Christian music, worship music, stuff like that. But when I'm working out, I throw on the Jeezy, I throw on the Outkast, older Outkast. Like I go back in the 2002 slick, and not 2002, 22. What year we in? 2022.
2022, yeah.
2022 on the way. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm Charlie Touche. I got my co-host Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. I don't know where you've been, but by now you heard the Miami Dolphins have signed left tackle Teron Armstead. It's a big deal. The number one free agent on the market. We still make the splash, although people are not. They're still a little skeptic. We need a little bit more light on your face, Kadeem. Look like you. What you got going on over there?
I think sometimes it's just the way the light moves. I could sort
I
that
mean,
right now.
you good right there, but
Yeah, I think So, do you know? I can't. Do you know, like in a rap battle, and the guy can just stand there, kind of just posted up in the background, and he's waiting. Or I don't know. Better example. Do you know when you're growing up as a kid and you're playing video games and you kind of lean back in your chair, so got your controller. This is my custom made PS5 controller, Miami Dolphins colors, obviously. They're kind of like you're back in the chair, and then you start losing. It's like, okay, hold on, let me sit forward. Let me kind of get a thing. That's me channeling my WhatsApp Kadeem. That's me just okay, cool. What's Charlie gonna say now? How am I gonna flame Charlie and get most in the comments? That's the so yeah. But to be fair, that's also I'm looking at something in terms of like for the podcast. Like, we don't have a 10 guy on Pat McAfee production. When we bring up our stats, it's us two. That's that's what we do and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what we doing with this O-line? We gonna make another move? We staying here? What do you think? So as it sits, we got projected starting five: Teron Armstead, left tackle; Connor Williams, left guard; Michael Dieter, center; friend of the podcast, Robert Hunt; and right tackle, Liam Eichenberg.
Yeah. So basically, moments after the Teron Armstead signing, Barry Jackson tweeted that the Dolphins aren't done upgrading offensive line. Center, and he spelled center wrong. Center is spelled Centre, but not going to get into that right now. Center will be addressed, but with Armstead, Connor Williams, two running backs with high career per carry averages who are skilled in this system, Cedric Wilson Jr., Ogbo and Gesicki, this has been a successful offseason. The interesting thing is that basically the first two sentences, Dolphins aren't done upgrading their offensive line, and center will be addressed. Now, what you're likely to see, I'll say what you're likely to see. What I'm hoping to see is, again, I don't want to say anyone to lose their job, their job, but make some necessary cuts. Bringing some dudes. So it makes necessary cuts, and with the money saved, bringing some dudes. So to me, your next acquisition on the offensive line, it falls between two people. It's either, to me, JC Tretter at center, or you go and get a right tackle. Now, there's probably multiple options you can get a right tackle, but if you line me up opposite Jalen Phillips, and like he's gonna bull rush you unless you decide the one person you're gonna pick, I'll probably go with JC Tretter.
Let's think about this for a second. Miami Dolphin fans unite. Let's think about this for a second. We upgraded at left tackle. We upgraded at left guard. We still have what we believe is a good right guard in Robert Hunt. Right tackle, we can all agree, is still suspect. And center, for my dollar, we can keep us Dieter at center and address it in the draft. But right tackle still needs to be addressed. Let me ask you something. I'm going to ask you, Kadeem, and I'm asking everybody that's listening. If you're listening on the audio version, check us out on YouTube as well, at Go Time Dolphins, on all social media platforms. Share, like, and subscribe. Turn on notifications. Please and thank you. We rock with y'all. Y'all rock with us. Let me ask y'all a question. Are you happy with what the line looks like now going into the draft? Or do you think we need to upgrade a right tackle still? And I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna be clear. Is going to get another right tackle out there upgrading from Liam Eichenberg? If we go get a right tackle, Kadeem, is that an upgrade from Liam Eichenberg at right tackle? Because now it is clear as day as a right now, as we speak, Liam Eichenberg is the right tackle for the Miami Dolphins. So if we go get somebody else in free agency, is he an upgrade from Liam Eichenberg at right tackle?
Per PFF, yes, because Liam Eichenberg was probably the worst tackle in the league, especially at pass protection. So per PFF, you basically can't get any worse than Liam Eichenberg, maybe Jesse Davis. And that's not shots at those two. That's just what the tape showed last year. Now, I've seen people say, and to me, I want to just stop this conversation right now. Under no circumstances should the Dolphins move Robert Hunt to right tackle. Just don't do it. No. I've seen people say, well, they drafted him at right tackle and had to kick him inside at guard. Listen, again, I'm glad you gave it the finger wag. We both sat here on this show before we came over to YouTube and was like, Robert Hunt's long-term career is probably at guard. You play him at tackle, kick the dude inside at guard, it would be better. He was a guard/tackle coming out of college. People differed as to where he was going to stay. One of the few successes on the offensive line under Brian Flores was working out that Robert Hunt was a guard. Don't move him to tackle. Just don't do it. I've seen people tweet that Austin Jackson could be moved to right tackle. Don't do that. Just don't do that. People just talking absolute nonsense. People say that Colin Williams might be playing at right tackle. Again, don't do that. Stop trying to make the Dolphins line even worse. To go back to your question, I think there's obviously tackles out there better than Liam Eichenberg right now. But I still believe that the Dolphins front office aren't willing to give up on both Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson within 2 years of drafting both of them. 1 year for Liam Eichenberg. So I think they stick with Liam Eichenberg. I will stick with Liam Eichenberg. But I fully understand anyone that wants to go and get a right tackle in free agency.
I don't think this is giving up on Eichenberg or Austin Jackson. Yes, Austin Jackson lost his job. Doesn't mean the Dolphins gave up on him, because now he's a depth piece. We have a first round pick that's a backup right now. So it's not we gave up on you. Now what it is, Kadeem, is, again, I'm gonna say this again. We don't have the luxury to find out if this coaching staff can coach up Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg and Solomon Kinley. We're gonna throw Solomon Kinley back in here. We don't know if this coaching staff can coach these guys up to where they need to be, because we can all agree that the last coaching staff failed the O-line. And it is a fact. That's not even an opinion. That's a fact. The last coaching staff failed the O-line. This is not a shot at the coaching staff either. It's not a shot at Flores. It's just the truth. That's not their strong suit. Okay. So everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and strength was not O-line for the Flores regime. So this is not giving up on Austin Jackson and Liam Eichenberg, but it is saying, look, we might have something in y'all, but we can't waste time and see. We can't waste the season. We can't waste the first 6 weeks of the season to see if you guys have upgraded or improved. So we have to go outsource this work, bring in Connor Williams, bring in Teron Armstead as of right now, and see and make sure we upgrade the O-line. We make sure we upgrade the O-line. So again, it's not giving up on them, but it is saying we're I forgot the terminology I just used, but we didn't give up on them. Now my thing is about Eichenberg. It's funny because if you go to the stats, Jesse Davis was better than Liam Eichenberg. And everybody has visuals of Jesse Davis just whiffing on blocks and looking like what you always say, a turnstile. Like, this man, he is a meme. You know what I'm saying? He's a GIF, depending on where you are in the world. So for Liam Eichenberg statistically to be worse than Jesse Davis, what? I don't know what you're gonna say about that. So, and this also goes to, oh, let's put Liam Eichenberg here. Let's do this there, and I don't know about all that. What I'm not gonna do now, and again, someone said put Austin Jackson at right tackle. I am 1,000,000% sure that if Mike McDaniel can have 900,000, not 9,000, not 90,000, 900,000 cut-ups of teaching points as a assistant coach. It's like, hey, yeah, we got to talk on this. Oh, let me clip this. We got to talk on that. Hey, let me clip this. This is a learning moment. Hey, let me clip this. We got to do this technique better. If you have 900,000 of anything, you are dedicated to your craft. I promise you that. All right. So for I don't even want to say I don't even want to say 1,000,000, because I want to give this man his credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, because when you say, oh, he has 1,000,000 clips, like that, it just sounds like hyperbole. You know what I'm saying? Nah,
Yeah.
Dude literally has 900,000 clips of teaching moments that he, throughout his career, he was teaching football players. So if you can have 900,000 teaching moments that you have clipped for your team, I'm 1,000,000% sure that they're going to look at Austin Jackson at right tackle. All right, let's see what you got. Matter of fact, Jesse Davis, let's put you back there. Let's see what you got. Eichenberg, hey, let's see what you got. I'm sure they're going to do that. But they're not going to do that today. Not going to do that tomorrow. We still have free agency and we still have a draft. So we won't know when that happens. So as of today, they have to make the decision. Do we go and get a free agent right tackle who may not necessarily be better than Eichenberg or Jesse Davis, which you would assume he would. Like, you would assume whoever we go get would be the better right tackle on the team. My thing is, do you keep Eichenberg at right tackle and then draft a right tackle? I don't know the answer to that question.
So, genuine quick question. You said the stats show that Eichenberg was worse than Jesse Davis, yeah?
Yeah.
Was that left tackle or right tackle? And
so it's just total stats.
I think total stats. And again, so this is me playing devil's advocate. This isn't WhatsApp, Kadeem. It's me playing devil's advocate. I think we'd agree that for how bad Jesse Davis is at right tackle, he's a better guard. Would you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. And that's why people say, oh, we should move on from Jesse Davis, which we might, because we need the cap space, because we got to sign rookies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how you get your cap space. So we might move on from Jesse Davis. But for people, if Jesse Davis isn't let go, people are going to blow a head gasket. Like, yo, dude is still a decent rotational guard. He can still play left guard and right guard. So don't be surprised Jesse Davis makes this team. Last time I said that, don't be surprised. I said, don't be surprised if Matt Collins doesn't make the team, and he's not here no more. But I'm just saying, like, don't be surprised if Jesse Davis is kept, which I doubt he will be, because the cap number is getting out of control right now. So we will have to make some space. But go ahead, Kadeem.
So yeah, and I think I'd be genuinely interested to see how his numbers stack up at left tackle and right tackle. Because again, I think we'd agree that last year him at right tackle was a failed project. Him at left tackle was a slightly better project. Now, was he worse at statistically? Was he worse at left tackle or right tackle? I'm sure there'll be more snaps at left tackle, so that might skew things a bit. It's again, I think that's why, anyone that's like, no, let's go and get a new right tackle. I'm like, yeah, I understand it. From what you saw from Liam Eichenberg last year, he wasn't the answer. But then I also think that Jesse Davis became a scapegoat on that offensive line, and for good reason, I guess. And I also think that Liam Eichenberg, and again, I kind of say this quite often, drafted or played Left tackle at college at Notre Dame barely gave up a sack in like years. Don't think he gave up a sack in like 2 years. Something ridiculous like that. Even coming out of college, to some, including myself, and I'm not a draft expert, but I was like, probably looks better at right tackle. So that's still going off the assumption that he came in last year, played both tackle positions, guard, and even took snaps at center in preseason, and it was just a complete whirlwind of stuff, and it just basically killed his confidence. That's me being generous, I guess. I still think. I think. Well, I think the general assumption is that left tackle and left guard is now basically wrapped up. There will be a competition, but I think we can fairly admit that Armstead and Connor Williams are going to be the starters, so on that left hand side. So it basically comes down to at center, I guess right guard and right tackle. You've got, and excuse me if I miss anyone, Michael Dieter, Solomon Kinley, Robert Hunt, Jesse Davis, Austin Jackson, Robert Jones, and Liam Eichenberg.
Lionel Coleman's not on the team no more.
Oh yeah, I think
Larnell
Lano Coleman and Greg Little as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of guys.
Greg Little is probably on the bubble.
Yeah, I think.
Unfortunately,
I think what the Dolphins will struggle to do is basically trade, I guess, 7 of those guys. So it's not like you can go, okay, we're going to trade him, pick up a 6th or a 7th. But we had a discussion on WhatsApp, or a very brief discussion, and I asked you the name Cornelius Lucas, and whether you thought of it, what you thought of him at tackle, basically. And he kind of gave me the rolling eyes emoji. We said we're discussing the podcast. What do you make of him as a player, if you've seen anything at all?
I think he's what we have. I don't know if he's, when I say I think he's what we have, I don't know if paying him money to come in to compete with Eichenberg and Jesse Davis would suffice. I'd rather bring in a rookie. I think the second highest ranked right tackle in the draft is probably projected to be 2nd or 3rd round. His name is Nicholas Petit-Frere. Forgive me if I messed up your name, bro. Nicholas Petit-Frere, hyphenated too. That's a mouthful. He is a right tackle and left tackle, actually. He's decent. And I want to get back to Eichenberg, but Nicholas, we gotta get dog a nickname. MPF is coming out in the draft. He's projected round 2 and 3. So my thing is, before I bring in dude, you said I'll bring in him. I'll spend the pick, because you would think we could. He's not polished. I want to be clear. He's not polished. He's not making 2 shades 24. But anything can happen. You come into this league and get the right coaches, and they turn you into something. Like, it's been times where 4th round, 5th round, 6th round picks become something. So to get MPF in the 2nd or 3rd round, you will hope you can get something out of him. Now, I will be okay at this point without trading anyone. I would be okay drafting MPF, having Liam Eichenberg, and having them to fight it out at right tackle. I don't love it. I would we already know what I would have preferred. We can't go back there. We can't go back there, because if I'm being real with you, this is a win. We have Armstead, Gesicki, and Agba. And then we sprinkle a lot of bread around them boys. Like, when I say bread, I'm talking about like Mostert, Edmonds. You feel me? So I don't love it, but that's what I'll do at this point. Now, it's not the sexiest thing. I'm hoping Greer has a trick up his sleeve and he could throw out like I got this trade for y'all boys. Ha ha. No one's seen this coming. Hopefully, but I doubt a trade for the right tackle is coming.
So just to clarify, you are willing to, I'm not going to say mess around, but you're willing to draft someone in the second or third round who isn't a sure proven thing and have him go up against someone who statistically was like one of the worst tackles in the NFL and have him protect your franchise quarterback's blindside. That's what you just said, right?
No, I'm not willing. I
But-
said at this point, without talking about trades, Mr. Simmons, without talking about trades, and if we're just talking about moving forward, then yes. The only two options are to go into free agency and find a right tackle. Trent Brown is not there no more. Mount Moses is not there no more. So now you're looking at the bottom of the barrel of right tackles, which you have Quinsonberry still out there, right?
Yep.
So Quinsonberry, for everybody who doesn't know, he's the right tackle for the Tennessee Titans.
He was, yeah.
He was the right tackle for the Tennessee Titans. He is a top 10 right tackle when it comes to blocking. I need to make that clear. He is excuse me?
Run blocking, I believe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Run blocking. That's what I meant. So
yeah,
he is a top 10 right tackle, came from Tennessee when it comes to run blocking. Top 10. But he is one of the worst. Maybe the worst. I think he is the worst right tackle, starting right tackle in the league when it comes to pass blocking. Well, I guess not, because you had Jesse Davis at right tackle. So he was at the bottom of the barrel. I would not love picking Quinsonberry up. Because now this is our options, Kadeem. So without trading is what I said. Here go Kadeem. Without trading.
No. I've done that because again, you know what? I will show you. I didn't mean to interrupt, but what you said was quite important. So looking at PFF, and again, this isn't the be all end all, but it's a good starting point. Quinsonberry has a 86.5 grade run blocking. Lara Collins has an 89.7. We're not going to get into Lara Collins. He's now in Cincinnati. Is what it is. Quinsonberry's pass blocking is 61.6. So I was like, let me go see what Jesse Davis is. So Quinsonberry is 61.6. Jesse Davis is 51.1. And I was like, okay, Liam Eichenberg, 46.9. Now,
right.
Quinton,
Yeah. So this is what we're talking about. So when you ask me, am I willing? It's like, listen, this is not where I want to be. We know where I want to be. And for those who missed the last two episodes, I just got to say it. I would have traded for Lara Collins. All right. And we wouldn't be talking about, well, which tackle do you want now? Do you want a right tackle where his pass blocking is 49? He's rated 49% overall, or 48% in Eichenberg, or 51 pass blocking in Quinsonberry. Like, do you think I want to have this conversation? I'm gonna say I don't trust none of them. Go draft somebody, and I'll bet on a second round, third round pick to be coached up, and hopefully he pans out. This is why it's imperative.
Again?
Excuse me?
Say that last bit again. You'll bet on what?
I would go get a right tackle in the draft and put him up against who we have already in the building.
No. Say the exact phrase. Or near enough the exact phrase. You said you got to tell me what I said then. You said you'll bet on a second or third round pick in the NFL draft. That's what you said. Second or third round pick. Yeah. What's Liam Eichenberg?
Second round pick.
So why don't you stick with Liam Eichenberg? And because
you just asked a question. Let me answer it.
Yeah, but you said to coach up. So you said you'll spend a second or third round pick this year to be coached up by this coaching staff.
Right.
Why not just use Liam Eichenberg, a second round pick from last year?
Because I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I already seen what this rabbit can do. I need a different rabbit. I'm not putting no eggs in this basket no more.
Under this coaching staff.
Okay, but so what if we blow it with Eichenberg again? We can't go back to the draft. So we have to have more in the see, because you don't have a y'all Second Amendment different. You know what I'm saying? You don't have more in the chamber. You need more rounds in the chamber, Kadeem. You feel me? So I'm because we miss on Lyle Collins, this is the hand we are dealt. So you can either bet on Liam Eichenberg to be your right tackle. You can go get Quinsonberry to be your right tackle, which he's a great run blocker. And if that's the case, I might as well go get Quinsonberry because we know he can run block, and he's barely better than Eichenberg and Jesse Davis, but he is better. So what are you going to pay Quinsonberry? Now, hold on. Now, I don't love that. I would rather take my chances with a second round pick that we have not seen yet and make them all. Matter of fact, if you want to, Kadeem, you could go get Quinsonberry and draft the second round pick. And now somebody has to win. That is the alternative to not having Lyle Collins, a top 5 right tackle in the league. By the way, this is what we're stuck with. The 3 worst right tackles in the NFL when it comes to pass blocking.
So I want to follow.
I might as well. I'm rolling the dice. I'm drafting somebody. Matter of fact, I might draft 2 people in the draft.
Cornelius Lucas, a 7-year vet, and I'm bringing that name because it's, again, Twitter. It's not a real place, and I'll share with his Twitter account. So, a couple of days ago, this person, or someone else on the 21st of March, which was 2 days ago, said if the third and Juan said if the Dolphins sign Terran Armstead, the offseason is a success for Dolphin standards. But if Miami really want to go big for 2022, they make another offensive line addition before the draft. Right tackle Cornelius Lucas or center JC Tretter are great value pieces. Someone else called The Athletic Mentality, AMS Sports Talk, said after Miami signs Armstead, Tretter, and Lovestein, important signings to solidify this offensive line. This was liked by Cornelius Lucas. So it's like, okay, it's fairly interesting, but, people like stuff. You then go and look at his last few tweets. 18th of March. It's so many protective hairstyles on this flight to Miami. Now, that was 4 days ago. People go to Miami for a number of reasons. I'm not putting 2 and 2 together to get Larry Lovestein himself, but it's quite, I guess, it's interesting to say the least. So when I asked you his, would you get him, and you kind of gave the eye emoji, you asked where is he in PFF, right?
I mean, where's he at? PFF.
Yeah. So yes, I never told you. All I said was that he's better than Morgan Moses. And Morgan Moses was 40. So let me get it up. Morgan Moses is 40th. Tevin Armstead is 26th.
Lucas is 29th.
Yeah. So I was like, and if you look at his pass and run block, it's not awful. I guess you can compare it to Collins because he's, I guess, the gold standard of what Miami could have had. In terms of, I believe that is pass blocking. Yeah, in terms of pass blocking, Collins has a grade of 74.3. Lucas has a 73.5. The drop off, according to PFF, isn't that much, if anything. Run blocking, it's night and day. 89.7 to 71.2. Does that change your mind at all? So if I said to you, go and sign him on a vet deal, you're barely giving him any money to at least come in and compete, and he might not even stay around. But if it's a vet deal, say 1 to 2 million, 1 year deal, would you bring him in to compete against Liam Eichenberg and I guess perhaps a second or third round draft pick?
Regardless. And I wanted to go back to Liam Eichenberg, so I'm gonna plug this real quick. We have to be fair to Liam Eichenberg. He was a rookie. Gotta say that. Not only was he a rookie, He was a rookie on the absolute worst line in the league. So if you were a rookie on the absolute best line in the league, you got to believe you would have been a little bit better than what Liam Eichenberg gave us. So I want to be fair to Liam Eichenberg. There's a chance there's a chance he could be coached up and win this job. Again, I'm going to say it again. That's not a chance I'm willing to take. So what I have to do now is to go, what I would like to say, solidify that position. But because we're not going to solidify it, we have to go roll the dice on it. Obviously, we solidified left tackle instead of right tackle. Just want to reiterate that. Now we roll the dice on right tackle. Whoever, Eichenberg ain't it. He's not going to be the only right tackle. He's not getting handed the right tackle position. What's going to happen, Kadeem, is the same way we had 18, 19 receivers on the roster last year in the offseason, and you go into the season with like 90 people on the roster and you play preseason games, and we got to cut it down to 50. I don't know, it's 55 now, 56 now, and then 53. I think it's 53 during the game, but it's still like 58 or something before the game.
Okay,
yeah, something like that, right? So what's going to happen, no matter what, we're going to bring in a gang of right tackles. Hey, have at it, boys. And I don't love it because it's to his blind side. But to answer your question, whether you go get Lucas or Quinsonberry, you're still going to draft a right tackle. That is 100% going to happen. No matter who you go get as of today, as of now, because we don't have any other option, you're going to go get competition for Liam Eichenberg at right tackle. And if the draft falls to you, you're going to take a right tackle in the draft, and now you're going to say, have at it, boys. That's what you're going to do. I don't care if it's Lucas, and I don't care if it's Quinsonberry. I'm not going to sit here and say I've seen film on Lucas and Quinsonberry. I just know that Quinsonberry can't pass block, but he's a great run blocker. And I'm like, dang. It's not as easy as, hey, we about to run a dive. Quinsonberry get in, Lucas come out. Eichenberg go in, Lucas come out. You know what I'm saying? It's not that simple. So you have to fix it. And I can guarantee you this, when we draft this right tackle in the draft, and if you have Quinsonberry or Lucas and Eichenberg on the team, matter of fact, you can have all four of them, Kadeem. Go get all of them. You know what I'm saying? And then when the season comes, if one of them, if they all ain't it, you're going to go all in next offseason for a right tackle. It's going to happen. So unless that second round pick hits or the right tackle hits that you draft, I should say.
So playing devil's advocate. If we had got Collins, you're not drafting no right tackle because you got your answer.
No,
Collins.
I'm not drafting no right tackle.
Bearing in mind you haven't seen any tape on Lucas, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't the PFF grade look at it and go, you know what? I'm not saying hand him the job, but I'm also saying he doesn't look like, from PFF grades alone, he looks like someone who actually, why isn't he coming in and being a starter?
Here's why. The eye test. And I was going to say this about Eichenberg. Eichenberg, to be fair, the eye test is not terrible. The eye test is not terrible on Eichenberg. But I remember on this podcast, shout out to Kevin Dern, shout out to Same Old Dolphin Show with the Casca brothers. We all kind of brush past, well, Eichenberg can kind of, you know what I'm saying? He can kind of, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I'm like, bro, I don't know what Eichenberg everybody else seeing, because I still see dog getting beat all the time. You see what I'm saying? But it's not as bad as it looks when Jesse Davis gets beat, meaning Eichenberg looks better than Jesse Davis is what I'm saying. That being said, the eye test is better. Now, PFF can have all your stats. Stats is only a piece of it. Eye test is another piece of it. You see what I'm saying? There's different variables in the equation. So you have to weigh them all together, and then you make your decision. No one is getting handed anything. I could promise you that, bro. The only person who's getting handed. Say what?
Apart from Collins, had we signed him?
Right. No, and I was about to go, but you cut me off. I said the only person who's about to get handed something is Jesse. I said Jesse Armstead. Teron Armstead. That's it. He's the only one getting handed anything on that line. Straight up.
I do think it's interesting that. So I watched some tape of Cornelius Lucas. No, briefly, I saw him over the past 2 years against the Eagles, Seahawks, and the Chiefs. Oh, and the Bucs as well. from a quick dive, and this is funny, is what it is. He looked better at left tackle than right tackle to me. He looked more fluid out of his step at left tackle. But he looked okay to good at right tackle. But again, these were like, I think I saw 2 games at left tackle, 2 games at right tackle. In 2021, and again, this is just PFF, but on a team with Morgan Moses, Donald Penn, and Cornelius Lucas, he was the highest graded tackle on that team, better than Morgan Moses and Donald Penn. And what I find, and again, like you've openly admitted you haven't seen the guy play, so I'm not going to be like that's just completely pointless. But I find it interesting that the names outside of Collins who have you mentioned Morgan Moses earlier, both in the same team. Cornelius Lucas outplayed him over 16 games. And it's just like, that's why for me, he's an interesting prospect when you, again, for me, a very brief eye test, the PFF grade and his tweets, and again, the tweets could be completely nothing. I just find it interesting that there's a right tackle who, according to PFF, and I'll get it back up very quickly, according to PFF, is better than both Trent Brown and Morgan Moses, 2 guys who he wanted in Miami. They play different positions, but he's basically 3 positions off Cornelius Lucas, also Teron Armstead. He's slightly below Orlando Brown, who was mentioned on this very podcast as another option, but again, left tackle, right tackle, all that kind of stuff. And looking very, very quickly at the guys in between Collins and Lucas at 29, there's 14 people, but guys like, Panay Sewell and others play left tackle. He's a top 10 to 15 right tackle. And to me, I just think he's not a big enough name for Dolphins fans. I think if his name was literally Orlando Brown, Dolphins fans would be like, go and get him right now. What are you doing? Don't be stupid.
But there's an eye test on Orlando Brown and on Morgan Moses. And last but not least, Quinsonberry is 10 spots ahead, according to PFF, since we're doing according to PFF, 10 spots ahead of Lucas. And I'm sitting here, I already told you, I'm not, I don't want Quinsonberry. But I'm just saying, like, if I don't want Quinsonberry is here ranked 18th overall. Lucas is ranked 29th overall. We already know Quinsonberry rests the bed when it comes to pass protection. So it's like, this is why friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, is gonna get reps at right tackle in practice. Kadeem, I promise you this. If Quinsonberry says, hey, no, the market's too slow for me, I'll take a 1-year deal somewhere. If Cornelius Lucas says, hey, the market is real slow for me, I'll take a 1-year deal somewhere. If the Dolphins sign Lucas and Quinsonberry to beat out Eichenberg and Jesse Davis, believe Austin Jackson, friend of the podcast, will be in that mix. We have to have a right tackle. And this is the hand we dealt. It is what, last but not least, I'm still drafting the right tackle. Someone has to win the job, bro.
You're doing too much. You're doing way too much.
How am I doing? My quarterback missed like 5 games to a broken rib, and I'm doing too much.
But again, so this is new coaching staff. Everyone gets a clean slate, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. So new coaching staff, everyone gets a clean slate. Everyone gets a clean slate, and it's from a clean slate. Let's go and we're going to have in Jesse Davis, Austin Jackson, and Liam Eichenberg. 3 guys compete for the right tackle spot, yeah?
No. One's a left tackle. So he shouldn't even be considered one of them. So you still got 2 people for the left tackle.
We've said on this very episode,
yeah,
he's going to have a look at Austin Jackson about
for tackle. Sure. But he's still a left tackle.
Yeah. But he's going to have a look. So you got those 3 people, yeah, and you're potentially throwing in 2 more guys in Quinsonberry and Lucas, potentially. So you're going to have 5 guys in the building, and you're going to go get a 6th. And not only going to go get a 6th, you're going to use a 2nd/3rd round pick when you can go and get, I don't know, a center or a wide receiver. I think the moves we've made so far basically mean that at 29, and I think it's pick 50. Yeah, it's pick 50. You can go and get best player available. Now, granted, if genuinely the best person available at either one of those positions is a right tackle, then yes, go and get them. Don't mess around. I 100% agree with that. But what I'm saying, this is me personally, if I've got those 5 guys in the building and at both 29 and 50, the best player available isn't the right tackle, I'm not reaching for one because
I didn't say I was going to reach for a right tackle, though. I'm not reaching for no right tackle either. So, but to answer your question, yes, I'm doing everything you just said. And I also said, I prefaced it by saying, if they want to take 1-year deals, obviously a 1-year deal. What's your boy Jesse Davis get $3 million, something like that?
About that, yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is, realistically, you can't bring them all in. Realistically, you can't bring in Lucas and Quisenberry, but one of them would get $3 million, right? 3.5, something like that, right? So what I'm saying is, like, you remember when the quarterback market was oversaturated during COVID and people were taking $1 million deals? Like Andy Dalton took $1 million. I play for $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say that happens this year with the right tackles. Lucas comes in on $1 million. Quisenberry comes in on $1 million. Austin Jackson's already on the team. Eichenberg's on the team. Jesse Davis on the team. Not only am I drafting the right tackle, Kadeem, I think the right tackle that I draft is going to beat all of them out. I believe that, bro. Like, I've seen every one of them except Lucas and Quisenberry with my own eyes. I've seen it, bro. I think Quisenberry has given up the most sacks at right tackle this year. I think that's a legit stat. He's given up the most sacks and pass protection at right tackle on more than anybody else at right tackle this season. So, but look, shout out again. I want to be very fair to Liam Eichenberg. He was a rookie. He could get coached up. I'm not too sure he could beat out. I won't go that far. But we got some stats here, bro. We got some O-line stats.
So before you go to those O-line stats, someone just tweeted that Chris Greer just paid the top 3 agent to be the 9th highest paid player at his position. But Twitter keeps telling you that Chris Greer is bad at his job.
Say it again for the people in the
back. All aboard the Chris Greer train. Charlie, you ready to leave?
Choo-choo.
Chris Greer just paid the top 3 agent to be the 9th highest paid player at his position. Twitter keeps telling me he sucks, though.
Shout out to Chris Greer, man. Like, listen, it's not an easy job, bro. It's not. And somehow he keeps whipping. He whips it up, bro. So let's get to these stats, though. Listen. I know it sounds bad. It's because it is bad. We're going to start from worst to, I don't want to say best.
If you're going to do worst to something, it's worst to first. Worst to best doesn't even rhyme. Worst to first.
I'll just say, like, but is it a first? You know what I'm saying? Like, so look, Liam Eichenberg gave up 62 pressures on the season. 62 pressures out of 665 opportunities, pass protection opportunities, 45 hurries, 9 sacks, 5 penalties. Jesse Davis, out of 644 pass protection opportunities, gave up 57 pressures, 39 hurries, 2 penalties, 8 sacks, 10 hits. But that hurt me just reading that. 10 hits. Austin Jackson, 655 opportunities, pass protection, 49 pressures, 41 hurries, 2 sacks, 6 hits, 5 penalties. Austin Jackson had 1 less game. Does that sound like something that you want to put your quarterback in, bro? And matter of fact, those are the potential right tackles for this season. So, of course, I want to oversaturate our right tackle situation to find the right one, bro. I mean, this is the hand y'all gave me. Y'all dealt me this hand by not going to get Lyle Collins.
As I said on the last episode, there's other options to Lyle Collins. And again, I get it. He was the best available without giving up draft picks. once he hit free agency. I think the wider point I'm making is that you obviously want to give your quarterback the best possible protection. I understand that. You obviously want to give his blind side the best possible protection more than any other place. Totally understand that. The point I'm making, and when I say you're doing too much, personally, in my opinion, is that you can go and get a serviceable right tackle. Let me finish. You can get a serviceable right tackle in free agency to hold it down for a year and to not give up Jesse Davis and Liam Eichenberg the amount of pressures and sacks.
Just to be clear, what you're saying is go get a right tackle, but don't draft one.
I'm saying, well, like I said in the last episode, you can go and find someone in free agency. I named one in Cornelius Lucas, who, from looking at, can do a job for a year at least at right tackle, and then spend that pick because the same way we talk about, we don't want to see certain wide receivers see significant, time on the field. If the draft falls to you, given how loaded this draft is, I can almost guarantee. I know you're not saying this, but I can almost guarantee at both 29 and 50, there'll be a wide receiver there to take who'll be like, yeah, that's a dude who's going to go improve.
I want you to be.
And also, very quickly, bearing in mind, we need an inside linebacker as well.
We need an inside linebacker more than we need a right tackle, Kadeem?
Given the names, again, we said let's not head into the draft with gaping holes. We've kind of said that. Now, I still don't believe that right now there's a gaping hole at right tackle. I genuinely don't believe that. And I believe you can sign someone like a Cornelius Lucas to plug, I'm not saying he's the answer for the next 5 years, but I'm saying, and I probably bet, not my PS5 on it, my Nintendo Switch, probably bet my Nintendo Switch that the tackle you draft in the second or third round is losing the battle to Cornelius Lucas over this year at least.
How do you do that?
How do I do what?
Just because you apparently whiffed or missed. It's not a whiff. Just because you missed on Eichenberg, you think you're gonna miss on the next right tackle? So we should just stop drafting right tackles forever and ever. Amen.
Never said that.
But you just said if we draft somebody that he's gonna lose his spot, that he's not gonna beat out Lucas.
Did you hear the rounds? I said if you draft someone in the second or third round, which is what we kind of said, I'd bet my Nintendo Switch that Cornelius Lucas wins that battle. Now, if you go and get one of the premier right tackles, then yeah, that person should hopefully be.
I'm taking that bet.
You're taking that bet.
I'm taking that bet. So let's be putting this on the chalk. This is the bet. Cornelius Lucas apparently is on a plane to Miami to have fun for spring break. Probably going to talk to the Dolphins while he's down here. It's spring break down here. It's for the next 4 weeks. He's probably going to talk to Miami. If we get Cornelius Lucas, bro, and we draft a right tackle between the second and third round, the bet is on, Holmes.
That's cool.
It is all chalk. Bro, you're gonna lose this one. This is easy money right here, bro.
Dude, so you're legit telling me, yeah, that a second, and again, Lee Eichenberg was a second round talent 12 months ago. Totally understand that. But a second or third round talent in this year's draft is going to beat out not just Cornelius Lucas, but also Liam Eichenberg.
No. See, you see how you just hold on. No. The bet was Cornelius Lucas.
Cornelius Lucas, yeah. But, yeah, but the wider thing as well is that to not only beat, to start at right tackle, this guy can have to beat Liam Eichenberg, Cornelius Lucas, Jesse Davis. That's probably the easiest one. No offense to him, probably the easiest one because he's better inside at guard. I would love to see that battle. I
want to be clear on the parameters of the bet, Kadeem. The parameters of the bet are if Cornelius Lucas signs in Miami and the second or third round right tackle beats him out, you're going to give away your Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Cool. We're gonna stop right there. We don't have to bring up Liam Eichenberg then. We don't, and obviously there's no bet if Eichenberg beats the two of them out. That's fair?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Kadeem, I don't know what the London terms are for are you smoking something, bro? Like you telling me that the coaching staff and the scouts can't find a starting right tackle in the second or third round if there's one there? That's what they get paid to do. Just because we keep missing don't mean it's not possible to hit. Like we found friend of the podcast, Javon Holland in the second round, 36 overall.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
So why can't we find the right tackle?
Because in that's a possible way, and I love Javon Holland. Who did he beat out?
He technically didn't beat out nobody because McCourty got hurt.
So there we go. He beat out nobody. So it's not like. And again, I love Javon Holland. When you draft him, like, dude, this is your starting thing, your starting safety. He was that good. The point I'm making that in this thing, that listen, a right tackle might legit fall. I'm saying of all these scenarios, I can't see that happening because I still think they'll probably go. Listen, if they go wide receiver at 29, then at pick 50, dude, take a right tackle if one falls to you.
Hold on, Kadeem. Why can't we throw 29 in there? Why does it have to be 50 and the third round pick? Why can't we throw 29 in there?
Because like I expect a first round pick to come in and start from day one.
Whatever, Kadeem. I'll let you have it.
No.
I'll allow it, bro.
No. And
bro,
you know what?
I don't understand because you just said Javon Holland didn't beat nobody out, right? Yeah.
Because there was nobody.
Apparently, this tackle that we get in the second or third round, he ain't got nobody to beat out either, except for the person who's rated 45 in pass blocking, and the other guy's rated 49 in pass blocking. So he's not beating out anybody either.
Hold on, who are you talking about?
Eichenberg and Jesse Davis.
But in our bet, it's basically
Cornelius Lucas.
Yeah, who was literally,
and he's rated 71, I think, right?
He is rated pass blocking grade according to PFF
71,
73.5.
Okay.
Collins is 74.3. Dude,
I test.
No. I test, yeah. But you brought up PFF grade and talking about you brought up PFF grade and talking about Eichenberg and Jesse Davis. And the reason I'm bringing up Cornelius Lucas is because on PFF grades alone, he is literally in pass block grades slightly worse than Lyle Collins, the guy who we all wanted to come in and the job is his.
That's just a variable in the whole equation. That is not the end all be all though. So
but how do you think Cornelius Lucas plays? So
hold up. If you could bring up that, I could bring up Quinsonberry. Quinsonberry is 10 spots higher than Lucas, and I know I don't want him on the team.
Okay, so if we're talking about PFF grades alone, no eye test.
PFF grades alone then.
PFF grades alone.
Go ahead.
And you know what? I will let you. I will help you out. David Quinsonberry, what's his PFF grade for pass blocking?
61.
What's Lyle Collins?
74.
What is, and where has he gone? What's
29? He's 29th.
Yeah. So let me scroll down a bit.
And for everybody listening, we brought the grades back up just in case the podcasting sounds like, what are these boys doing? Yeah, so we brought it back up. You got to check us out on YouTube so you can get the graphics and the stats and all the other good stuff. Kadeem think he's slick.
Listen, and again, I said earlier on in the episode, you haven't seen the dude play.
So riddle me this, Kadeem. According to PFF, if Cornelius Lucas basically has the identical pass blocking grade as Lyle Collins, how come he doesn't get paid $10 million a year?
Well, one, his run blocking isn't as good, and I also think sometimes just comes down, and this is going to sound so simplified, but it's one of them things where it sometimes kind of works out like this across various sports. He's not a name.
He's not a name because he's not that good.
So if you let me finish, he's not a name. But if I showed you their PFF grades and you didn't know who it was, I said player A, player B.
Right.
Heads up,
That happens a lot.
Yeah. And then you'll go, oh, do you know what? I'm not saying you, but people be like, I'll take either because their PFF grade says that pass blocking at least is basically the same person. You then see a name and everyone goes, I ain't taking that guy. It's like, well, why not? And again, and we've done this on the last episode. This happens with, I guess, for the Dolphins fans, Tua as well. Is that people like, I'm not taking Tua, X, Y, and Z is better than him. And then you show certain stats and you go, I'll take player B. Well, player B too is how do you feel?
Bro, I seen this for about 3 years straight with Kirk Cousins and top 5 quarterback insert here.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins' stats is loaded. So I understand that, but it's not the end all be all. It's you still have the eye test, bro.
And again, and that's why I said you haven't seen the dude play. So I understand it. I think just humor me this.
But I don't have to see him play to know that he's
Dude,
probably gonna get less than $4 million when he comes in.
But why is that? Because so you've said eye test. Do the eye test. Take a look at the guy.
Cool, I will absolutely take a look at him. I'm just saying there's a reason why he's out there for pennies on the dollar. There's a reason.
And again, totally get that. I totally get that. Listen, I'm not saying that 32 NFL teams, I do mean 32 because he's a free agent right now. I'm not saying that 32 NFL teams have completely missed on someone who I've gone, dude, how can you not pick up the player? I am in no way saying that. All I'm saying is that there's a genuine part of me that would like to see him come in and, from looking at him very, very briefly and his PFF grades, not that I'm shocked that he's still a free agent. I guess at the same time, JC Trett's a free agent and you'd be like, dude, how is that possible? I'm just saying, and taking back to the bet, is it impossible that a second or third round right tackle beats him out for the job? Of course not. I think it's just quite unlikely. Now, I guess it's also like, well, Lee Michaelberg is a second round pick. And again, I get all that. Sometimes the vet just wins because it's a vet. And I can't see it's not that I can't see a starting right tackle fall to the second or third round. It happens every single year. Like, that's the way the NFL draft is.
But I'm pretty sure there's some right tackles that were drafted in the past 2 years that start right now in the NFL in the second or third round. For sure.
Rob Hunt is definitely one of them, but he's in starts at guard.
Look at that.
He's
a guard. No. He was drafted as a guard that we moved to right tackle, though.
He was drafted as a guard / tackle, started for tackle, and then moved inside to guard.
So listen, at the end of the day, nobody that we talked about on this podcast at right tackle is the long-term solution. So you have to take more bites at the apple to find your long-term solution at right tackle. That's why you will absolutely see a right tackle drafted in the draft.
And that's why,
unless we trade for someone, and you're absolutely going to see a right tackle drafted because you have to. We have to try to fill the spot. We have to try to fill the hole. I'm all in on. I'd rather go get JC Tretter and draft a right tackle, and we'll go there because now we know there's only one hole on the line, and it is what it is. We have 4 rotational players to try to fill that role. So, shout out to Cam Jurgens, center for Nebraska. He's gonna make it on Charlie Touche's 24. You might have to reach for him. Not too many centers that I like in this draft. He's probably projected third round to fifth round. Third is probably kind of high, but I'll still do it. It is what it is. If you need a center, come on over to bonus time. I appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. Y'all share, like, and subscribe, man. For real. Go Time Dolphins. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time.
That's for the fans
Already.
and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
It's interesting that we came into free agency going, the Dolphins need to address 2 positions on the offensive line. the two positions they've addressed are ones we didn't really see coming, I guess. But there's a legit chance there could be 4 new starters on this offensive line come week 1. Do you find that? I don't think interesting is the right word, but yeah, that could be quite the thing, and it is something which that's a lie. I would say something that this team under Brian Flores didn't do, but they did, didn't they? Because at one point you had Austin Jackson, Solomon Kinley, Robert Hunt. Well, they had 3, I guess. At one point they had 3. In their rookie years on the offensive line, protecting Tua.
For a long time, it was conventional wisdom that you couldn't go too young on your O-line. It was like, hey, you got to mix in the old guys with the young guys. And the Dolphins, I mean, I just because it's tradition, or I don't even want to say tradition, just because it's common practice to do it, doesn't mean you have to do it. I'm okay with going against the chalk. So we did it and we failed. So I don't think the word is interesting. I think it's an admission of guilt. All right. Not only did we put out the 32nd ranked O-line in the league, if there's 50 teams in this league, we might have been 50th. So it's an admission of guilt. You have to fall on the sword. And I think this is also why you have to give Tua a real look. We don't have a real look with Tua. We're going to put 4 new dudes on the line. Something that I did not want to do was put Connor Williams at left tackle. I think you brought up that he played left tackle in college. And if you look at the stats, you know, we do stats here. Connor Williams played like about 4,000 snaps. About 4,000 snaps in his NFL career. Around 3,500 of them were at left guard. And a couple hundred of them were at left tackle. That's just not somebody I'm willing to put at left tackle. But you're a guard, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only are you a guard, you're a left guard. I'm not going to put you at right tackle. You know what I'm saying? So we double down on the O-line as we should. And as you should, and it's going to be interesting to see what we do now moving forward. But what you got?
I'm gonna say, what would you like to see them do
with the O-line or overall?
I guess offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I said I legitimately said it, and you said I was doing too much. I legitimately will bring in as many right tackles as we can. Like, that is capped allowed without cap strapping us. I'll bring in as many right tackles as we can and draft a right tackle if he's there, not to reach for one. And then y'all figure it out. And if the answer is not drafting the right tackle, the next offseason, we have to spend the bag on our right tackle. It is that simple. And this is just the hand we were dealt.
When you mean spend the bag, I take you mean trade for one.
Yeah. Because we won't have the cap. The cap is going to look different next year. Actually, we might have cap. It depends. It depends on what the projected right tackles look like next year in free agency. Because we thought we were going to spend, quote unquote, the bag on Armstead, and he's only getting 15 per with incentives. So shout out to Chris Greer for pulling that off. That's a train heist.
I made that look because I feel like I'm missing something. And again, like PFF should never be the be or end all. Like, just never ever do that. But looking at the centers, I'll probably end up losing my Nintendo Switch because Creed Humphrey is a second round pick and he's the best center in the league. So,
hey, Creed Humphrey was on 2Sh's24. Shout out to that dude.
But number 6 is JT Tretter, and I just kind of think right now I don't see. I think, especially given you didn't pay the money we expected for Teron Armstead, start making some cuts. And again, it's not nice, but is what it is. Start making some cuts. Go and get JC Tretter. again, number 6 in PFF. For what it's worth, Dieter came 28th, which I guess could be worse. Austin Rita came 38th.
Lloyd Cushenberry, another one of Touche's 24, came in 21st.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think the money, cause I think everyone expected Armstead to get 22 mil around that. You kind of not saved 7 million, but it's 7 million we didn't expect to have in the bank, I guess. Go and sign JC Trotter. And I'm talking go sign like a 3-4 year deal. You make it work. I think in a world where you then go and sign JC Trotter, in the draft, I think 29 probably becomes extremely likely to be wide receiver or linebacker. Depending on who's there at linebacker. I know N'Kobe Dean is someone who people kind of like quite a lot. His draft grade or his draft is quite up and down. I've seen some people say he's a 3rd or 4th round pick. Others say he's like a 1st round pick. But yeah, wide receiver or linebacker at pick 29, and then I guess pick 50 could be the right tackle you go and get, and you literally run out 4 new starters on the offensive line. Because I guess if you do sign JC Tretter in free agency and you then put him to like a 2-3 year deal or maybe even 4 year deal, what do the need become at in the draft outside of right tackle? Because I think you've established that's a need.
So if you sign JC Tretter to a long-term deal, you jeopardize losing Christian Wilkins in 2024. Because now you're going to have to find a right tackle. You're going to sign him long-term. This is why it's imperative to build in the draft. So if you're paying 15 to Armstead, 9 to Tretter, 9 to a right tackle, 13 to Xavier Howard, 14 to Byron Jones. This is getting out of hand. Now, I would not be surprised if we don't bring in JC Tretter and we draft a right tackle and draft a center. So now the center is competing with Dieter and the right tackle is competing with whatever right tackle we bring in. It would not shock me because those are pieces you can get off your cap next year or in 2024. You could get them off your cap so you can spend the money to go get a true need. Hopefully you hit with that draft pick. Another thing that would not surprise me, Kadeem, it would not shock me if we drafted a cornerback 1st or 2nd round.
Yeah,
it would absolutely not shock me if we drafted a corner. It's something you can't have enough of is O-line and corners. So if you want to get your cap back down to where you can start signing pieces like Christian Wilkins, you're going to have to start hitting on draft picks so you can start moving on from pieces that like whoever's going to come in at right tackle if you pay somebody. So that's where we at.
Yeah, I think, and I said that because I'm not saying the Dolphins have no holes on their roster. Like that's just not true. But I was looking at it going, if you sign JC Tretter, I think the needs basically become wide receiver, inside linebacker, and corner isn't a need, but you're going to need to get out of the Byron Jones and Xavier Howard contract sooner rather than later. I think looking around the league and seeing what other guys are doing with their contracts, I understand Xavier wants to be paid, but I would also kind of like Xavier Howard to move some money around so the Dolphins can improve in other areas. Not going to happen, it is what it is. But yeah, I was kind of like, and it's something which is really interesting that you said. You said that the Dolphins need to basically hit on these picks. I think that kind of furthers my argument that the Dolphins, and again, I know you hate it, but the Dolphins are going to give Liam Eichenberg a prolonged look at right tackle because it's like if we have to go into this draft and get a right tackle, it's not given up on Eichenberg and Austin Jackson, but it's basically saying you have no long-term future and you probably won't get a second contract in Miami. And at that point, you're looking at going, wow, Chris Greer really flopped the bag, because in back-to-back drafts, you've had what, 5 first and second round picks, is it?
I don't know.
No, 6. It's 6, I think.
I don't know.
Tua Noah Austin Jackson, Raekwon Davis, Robert Hunt. Oh Lord, Raekwon Davis, Robert Hunt, Javon Holland, and Liam Eichenberg. That's 7. That's 7. No, I can't count. Start again. I don't want to keep it too long because we're in the bonus time. Back-to-back drafts, yeah. You've got in the first round Tua, Austin Jackson, and Noah, correct? Following year, you've got Jalen Phillips and Jalen Waddle, so that's 5. And in the second round, you've got Raekwon Davis, Robert Hunt, Javon Holland, Liam Eichenberg.
Yep.
9. So of those 9 players in like premium picks, you've basically whiffed on about half of them.
Hold on. Stop the press. I disagree though, because you said if we draft a right tackle, that means we're moving on from Liam Eichenberg. It doesn't mean that. It just means we're setting ourselves up to where we can hopefully find a right tackle. Meaning Eichenberg could still win the job and turn it around and be a Pro Bowl right tackle. But we don't have that time. We only have one offseason right now. And Eichenberg ain't coming into training camp before the draft. You see what I'm saying? So what we have to do is what we just did. Like, we're bringing in O-linemen because we know we have to get better, and we can't trust the O-linemen with this new coaching staff without seeing them first. So we have to bring in more right tackles. Doesn't mean Liam Eichenberg can't beat these boys out. He could become a Pro Bowl right tackle. But you just drafted 2 of them. You just drafted a right tackle. So now it's like, hey, well, thanks for showing up, Eichenberg.
So very quickly, that's actually not true.
What's not true?
That there will be off-season workouts before the draft. April 4th. Teams with new head coaches can begin off-season workout programs. Dolphins are one of them. April 18th is when teams of returning head coaches.
You think that's enough?
I don't think it's enough, but I think it gives you a clearer plan. And I think that plan could be, you get them in the building, and that's everyone, including Eichenberg, and you look at it and go, we think that there's enough that we can work on to get us through the season. Now,
go ahead.
No, so, and again, I think if you think that, unless the draft falls to you where there is a Penasal type player at 29 or 50 was like, you know what? This guy is hands down off college tape better than Liam Eichenberg. We have other holes where we believe we can get enough of. You know what? Say what you're saying. I'll try and get back to it.
Here's my thing. If you're thinking, oh, I just need to put eyes on him, I want to stand next to them, I want to see what it looks like, you can figure that out in tape. Yes, you're going to get looks at him, but if you got a couple works out before the draft, you're not banking your couple workouts on determining if you could draft somebody or not. You could probably figure that out on tape if you're one of these coaches. So I still think if they want to if they feel like the right tackle is in need, they're going to draft the right tackle. If they feel like Eichenberg is good enough, it's because they've seen it on tape. It's not going to be because he came in for a couple of weeks before the draft.
I get that. And I think if you listen to what Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel have said in the offseason, so far they've said that they like the look of some of these young guys. Obviously, they didn't say who. And I guess we kind of naturally assume that that's basically Robert Hunt, maybe Liam Eichenberg, maybe Austin Jackson. And I feel like, and this isn't me backtracking on, the bet, like, is what it is. I've committed to that. But I guess I'll end on this. I was thinking, ending this, I've kind of lost my train of thought. It's more, I think I think I said it before. I said it weeks ago. I still think they're going to give Liam Eichenberg the right tackle job this season. It's just an inside gut feeling that they'll look at it and go, "We have enough pieces in the building, and now we've added Connor Williams and Teron Armstead, which was our plan this offseason, that we've got enough pieces that we can address other areas of the team in the draft, including wide receiver, potentially center if we don't get JC Tretter, inside linebacker, which to me, I guess is a bigger need because I still think Liam Eichenberg is a solution for this season at least. So I've got wide receiver, inside linebacker, probably corner because you've got to get off those contracts. I don't think you need a running back, but I wouldn't be surprised if they draft a running back.
So I'm gonna pull up a tweet that Marcel Louis Jacquez had mentioned earlier, which was while I still believe another offensive lineman signing is coming, I want to reiterate that I don't believe the Dolphins think the O-line is as big of a problem as most people do. Yet we just brought in 2 O-linemen. 2 starters, by the way. So apparently this tweet, like, yeah, I hear you. Actions speak louder than words. So yeah, you could give Eichenberg a try. Either you like Eichenberg's tape or you don't. If you're gonna bring in Lucas, bring in Lucas. But it depends on how the draft is gonna fall to you. Like
yeah.
What's up?
No, I said yeah. No, I'll promise I'll end on after you finish your point.
No, go ahead. I'm good.
Yeah. Again, and people saw that tweet and it's like they were worried that the Dolphins weren't going to get anyone at offensive line. It's like, well, hold on, what are you doing? I interpreted that tweet in a way which said they will address it if they get the right people, and I think the right people are basically Teron Armstead, potentially Connor Williams, and if it works out, Lyle Collins as well. But if they don't get those guys, they are confident that they can coach up the guys in the building, and I guess I'm in the draft to put out not the 32nd ranked offensive line in the league. And again, we've said on this show, we'd be okay with 28 because 32 would have been 50.
I don't know if I said 28. I thought I said like mid-20s. I thought I said mid-20s, but
okay, but like, we were okay with a mid-20 offensive line as long as it wasn't 32, because 32 was probably 50. And I think that's what that tweet was saying. It's, we believe we've got guys. Basically, you move into a house and it's like, it needs work. But I can live with it for a year until I get the money to basically do it. And I think that's what the Dolphins were saying with the offensive line. It needs work, but I can live with it for a season if our prime targets, Teron Armstead, Connor Williams, Lyle Collins on the right deal, if we can't get them in. I that's the way I interpreted that tweet.
Hey, Mom, I'm done with my segment.